In 1975, a movie about a killer shark changed Hollywood forever. Jaws became the first modern blockbuster, grossing far more than anyone expected and effectively inventing the summer movie season as studios realized audiences would line up for spectacle again and again. It held the record as the highest-grossing film of all time, until just 2 years later, when Star Wars arrived and shattered it completely, becoming a cultural phenomenon that spawned an entire industry of merchandising, sequels, and fan devotion that continues to this day. Steven Spielberg, who had directed Jaws, returned to the top of the list himself in 1982 with E.T. the Extraterrestrial, a story so beloved that it would be re-released in theaters multiple times over the following decades, each re-release adding a little more to its already enormous total. For 15 years, these 3 films defined what a box office record looked like, each one a genuine cultural event rather than just a successful movie. Then, in 1997, James Cameron released Titanic, a 3-hour epic that critics and even Cameron's own studio doubted would ever earn back its famously enormous budget. Instead, it became a global cultural sensation, playing in theaters for nearly a year, the first film in history to cross $1 billion worldwide, and it held the all-time record for 12 consecutive years, longer than any film before or since. A 2012 3D re-release, timed to the film's 15th anniversary, pushed its total even higher, well past $2 billion worldwide. In 2009, Cameron returned once again, this time with Avatar, a visually groundbreaking science fiction epic that overtook his own record within weeks of its release, a feat almost no other director in history has managed against themselves. Avatar held the crown for a full decade, until the summer of 2019, when Avengers: Endgame, the culmination of 11 years and 22 interconnected Marvel superhero movies, narrowly overtook it. The margin was almost absurdly small. Endgame finished less than $1 million ahead of Avatar out of nearly $3 billion in total ticket sales between them, one of the closest races in box office history. That victory didn't last long. In 2021, Avatar returned to Chinese theaters for a limited re-release timed to capitalize on a recovering post-pandemic box office, and the extra ticket sales were just enough to push it back past Endgame and reclaim the all-time record, a title it has held ever since. James Cameron followed up in 2022 with Avatar: The Way of Water, a long-delayed sequel that still managed to become the 4th highest-grossing film ever made, meaning Cameron now personally holds 3 of the top 4 spots on the entire all-time list, an achievement no other filmmaker comes close to matching. The most surprising new arrival came from an entirely unexpected direction. In 2025, a Chinese animated film called Ni Jia 2, largely unknown outside China before its release, became a genuine cultural phenomenon at home, grossing over $2 billion almost entirely from Chinese theaters alone, making it the first film from outside the Hollywood studio system to ever crack the all-time top 5. It proved that Hollywood no longer has a monopoly on producing the kind of spectacle that can move an entire nation to the cinema. From a killer shark in 1975, to a 3-hour ocean tragedy, to blue aliens on a distant moon, to a Chinese animated epic exactly 50 years later, the story of cinema's biggest hits keeps proving one simple thing: audiences everywhere will show up in enormous numbers for a story that truly captures their imagination, regardless of language, genre, or which studio made it.